Shiva, text 28. Hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanaṁ saugandhikam ca drumaiḥ kāma-dughair hṛdyaṁ citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanaṁ saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughair hṛdyaṁ citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughair hṛdyaṁ citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughair hṛdyaṁ
yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughaiḥ citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughair citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughair citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ
hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughair
citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ
Mataji,
hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ
vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughair citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanam saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughaiḥ citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ
hitvā passing over yakṣa-īśvara, the Lord of the Yakṣas, Kuvera, purīm, the abode, vanam, the forest, saugandhikam, named Saugandhika, cha, and tat, that, drumaiḥ, with trees, kāma-dughair, yielding desires, hṛdyaṁ, attractive, Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. While traveling, the demigods passed over the forest known as Saugandhika, which is full of varieties of flowers, fruits and desired trees. While passing over the forest, they also saw the regions of yakṣeśvara. Please repeat. While traveling, the demigods passed over the forest known as Saugandhika, which is full of varieties of flowers, fruits and desired trees. While passing over the forest, they also saw the region of yakṣeśvara. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Yakṣeśvara is also known as Kuvera, and he is the treasurer of the demigods. In the descriptions of him in Vedic literature, it is stated that he is fabulously rich. It appears from these verses that Kailash is situated near the residential quarters of Kuvera. It is also stated here that the forest was full of desired trees. In the Brahma Samhita we learn about the forest. In the Brahma Samhita we learn about the desired tree which is found in the spiritual world, especially in Krishna Loka, the abode of Lord Krishna. We learn here that such desired trees are also found in Kailash, the residence of Lord Shiva, by the grace of Krishna. It thus appears that Kailash has a special significance. It is almost like the residence of Lord Krishna. Hitvā yakṣeśvara-purīṁ vanaṁ saugandhikam drumaiḥ kāma-dughaiḥ citra-mālya-phala-cchadaiḥ. While traveling, demigods passed over the forest known as Saugandhika, which is full of varieties of flowers, fruits and desired trees. While passing over the forest, they also saw the regions of yakṣeśvara. So Brahma is taking the demigods to meet Lord Shiva and beg forgiveness because they have committed a great offense to Lord Shiva. As we see that materialistic people, since they judge everything from materialistic point of view, like money, fame, opulence, physical beauty, birth, education. These are the factors with which the materialistic people judge a person. Because their mentality is completely absorbed in material nature, it's natural to judge things from materialistic perspective. But a devotee is not interested in this particular things. A devotee is simply concerned about Krishna and his devotion and his service. That is the consideration of the devotee. Therefore, materialistic people often fail to recognize the position of a devotee. Just as we see here, Daksha judged Lord Shiva from material point of view, materialistic point of view. Like here is a person who doesn't have any. He doesn't have any place to stay. He stays in a crematorium. He doesn't have any, what to speak of, fancy dress. He doesn't have any clothes to wear. And so he was, and then already we can see why Daksha behaved like that, because he was already had a very strong aversion, disrespect and disregard for Lord Shiva. Therefore, when Lord Shiva didn't stand up, it just came. As the expression goes, the last straw that broke the camel's back. You know that expression? The camel was already loaded with so much load. And then somebody put a straw and the camel's back broke. So it seems that it is the straw that broke the camel's back. But actually it was the load that it was already there was quite unbearable for the camel. Although camel is able to carry a lot of weight. So here Daksha flared up. He didn't stand up to show respect. And he started to insult. And that heart feeling became so intense that he practically severed all relationships. So much so that when he was performing the sacrifice and where he practically invited all the demigods, but he did not invite Lord Shiva, his own son-in-law and his own daughter, the youngest daughter. Generally, it is said that the parents are more attached to the youngest. But here, although she was very dear to him, Sati, but he did not invite her. But Sati, when she found out that her father is performing such a sacrifice and all the demigods are invited, they all are going, she also wanted. Actually, sacrifice is the way the demigods celebrate. That is the celebrate effect. The big festivals are sacrifice. That is the way the demigods celebrate. Human beings go to a party, go to a nightclub. That's the modern way of celebrating. But a civilized way of celebrating is by performing a sacrifice. Like I remember when I was young, the big celebration was the pujas. Durga Puja, Saraswati Puja, Kali Puja, Lakshmi Puja. So now people are not interested in those festivals. They want to have cricket match. Cricket match is a big celebration. Now just consider, the father has organized a big match against India and Pakistan. And he didn't invite his own daughter. How will the daughter feel? But she feels that my father is the organizer, so I can just go and I can get a VIP seat at any time. So she goes there, but then the father says, you are not invited. You are not expected to be here. Get out. How will the daughter feel? And not only that, on top of that, he did not say, get out of here. But he started to insult Lord Shiva. And a chaste woman, for a chaste woman, the insult of her husband is absolutely unfair. It's natural because she loves him. So much so that actually that he is more dear to him, more dear to her than herself. So Sati could not tolerate that. And she decided to live her life. So this is how this whole episode started. Sati left her body. Then Lord Shiva's associates, those who were accompanying Sati, they tried to attack. But at that time, Ritu, from the sacrificial fire, created some demigods known as Rivus. And the Rivus chased the associates of Lord Shiva away. So they went and reported to Lord Shiva. When Lord Shiva got to know that his wife has left her body because of the insult, and his associates have been defeated and driven away. Then Lord Shiva took a tuft of his hair. This is the power of Lord Shiva. He took a tuft of hair and he just smashed it. And as a result of that, a terrible personality appeared. And he instructed him to go and take care of the situation in Yakṣas. And this person went, and Lord Shiva's associates also went along. And they created a havoc. They plundered the whole sacrifice. They broke the teeth of Pusha, and they took away the beard. They uprooted the beard of Bhikkhu. And then finally they took Daksha in the slaughtering Jupakashta and chopped his head off. And the whole situation became so chaotic. The demigods became afraid. They went to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma then told them that you made a terrible mistake by insulting Yakṣa. So through Bhagavatam we learn so many lessons. All the incidents that have been recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam is with a specific purpose. With the purpose of educating us. What do we learn from Srimad Bhagavatam? Through this incident. Don't judge a devotee from his external appearance. There are many people, externally they may seem to be very insignificant. Like for example, we can consider if one of the Goswami, one of the Goswamis of Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami or Sanatana Goswami, walked into this room, how will you find him? Just wearing a torn piece of cloth, their body is very thin. Obviously, you don't look like Amitabh Bachchan. So, if we see him from an external perspective, then you won't be able to recognize it. Therefore, Prabhupada very emphatically told us, don't try to judge a sadhu. Don't try to see a sadhu with your eyes. See a sadhu with your ears. See a sadhu with your ears. Meaning that see a sadhu, try to recognize the sadhu from the way he speaks. What does he speak about? How much does he give us Krishna? That is the identity of the saint. Krishna se tomar, Krishna is. Krishna is yours and you can give Krishna. That means, how does he give Krishna? By giving us the understanding of Krishna. Who is Krishna? Who is Krishna? And then he shows how to become attached to Krishna. And then we see how he is attached to Krishna. Whatever he does it for Krishna. That is the way to recognize. Just as sometimes we fail to recognize the sadhu by his unkempt, just as we fail to recognize the sadhu by his external appearance, like his clothes are dirty, he looks very poor and unkempt. Similarly, one may also fail to recognize the sadhu by seeing his opulent situation. A wonderful example of that was Pundarika, the great devotee of Sri Chaitanya. And Gadadhar Pandit went to see him, and he saw he was so opulent, living in such luxury, dressed in finest clothes. And so many servants are attending him. Some is fanning, some is was giving, offering him some betel nut and pan and tampul. And he is in such an atmosphere, so I mean, he is half lying on a bed which is white as milk, and with the pillows and things that were looking like a bed of leather. And Gadadhar Pandit failed to recognize. But Mukunda, who knew Pundarika, he understood what was happening in Gadadhar. So he just chanted one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, describing Krishna. And as soon as he heard the verse, he became ecstatic. He started to behave like a madman and he fainted. Then Gadadhar Pandit recognized, such an extraordinary devotee. I failed to recognize it. Then he became so repentant that he committed an offense to a great Vaishnava. That to absolve that offense, he decided to take initiation from Pundarika. So this is how a great devotee cannot be recognized by his external appearance. But what is the identity of a devotee? His internal mood, his attachment to Krishna. Is the attachment to Krishna an external thing? No, it is an internal thing. So, therefore we have to be very careful when we deal with the devotees. Be very, very careful that we don't judge them from mundane point of view, external, physical, material point of view. And here we are seeing when Lord Shiva is taking the demigod, we are seeing, and as Prabhupada is pointing out, that when they were approaching, it was not even Kailash as yet. It was, they were actually flying through the region where Kuvera lives. Kuvera is a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So So he resides near Lord Shiva's place. Actually, Kuvera's original place was Lanka. His father, Vishwava, gave him that place. And Lanka was very, very beautiful, very beautiful. But Ravan, his stepbrother, Ravan occupied Lanka and drove him away. Then Kuvera went and made his residence near Kailash, according to Brahma's instruction. They had the same Ravan and Kuvera, they are from the same father, Vishwava, Rishi. Therefore, Kuvera's another name of Kuvera, actually the original name of Kuvera is Vaishrava, the son of Vishwava. Vaishrava. And he is very exalted, like there are 4 principal demigods. Who are those 4 principal demigods? Indra, Surya, Varun and Kuvera. No, I'm sorry, Jama and Kuvera. Indra, Jama, Varun and Kuvera. They are known as the demigods, the principal demigods. So Kuvera is one of the 4 principal demigods. And Kuvera resides in a place, his garden is Saugandhika. And here it is described that that region has desire trees, desire fulfillment. That means you can ask anything and your desire will be fulfilled. Ask anything. But mind you, before that you have to become qualified to ask properly. Because the desire tree will fulfill your desire. In this respect, long time ago I heard one story. One woodcutter was cutting the wood in the forest. And it so happened that he was standing just next to a desire tree. So while he was cutting the tree, the handle of his axe broke. And so he thought, oh, now the handle broke. What am I going to do? I wish there was a new axe. And immediately an axe appeared. And he was cutting the tree, making it to pieces. Then he said, it's so hard work. If it could just get cut like that, it would be so nice. And immediately the axe slipped out of his hand and started to chop the tree into pieces. And then he thought, oh, now I have to make a bundle out of it. If there could have been such, if they were bundled together, it would be so nice to carry, so easy to carry. And immediately, the wood, the pieces of log got together and a rope appeared and they got bound into a beautiful bundle. Then he thought, oh, I'm so hungry. It was some food that you had. And immediately a bit of food appeared. So he ate the food, and naturally, after eating, after becoming so tired, he fell asleep. And then, when he woke up, it was already dark, and he became afraid. And he felt, oh, if a tiger comes, and immediately a tiger came and picked him up. Therefore, in a way it can be very dangerous to be a desire in front of a desire tree. Because if you ask for a wrong thing, then you will be in great trouble. Therefore, Krishna did not send any desire tree here. because we are not qualified to ask what we really want. Therefore, all our needs, all our desires should be based around Krishna. Then we'll be safe. Whatever we want, if it is for Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure, for the sake of serving Krishna, then there can't be any danger. Our service attitude to Krishna can never go wrong. The trouble starts when we start to desire with us in the center. Meaning, when you become affected by false ego. And so that's why the way to purify our desire, actually we cannot get rid of desire, the tendency to desire. Because that's the natural functioning of the mind. Mind's business is to desire. Consciousness means desire. Whenever there is consciousness, there is desire. So we have to desire. But desire for Krishna. Don't desire for yourself. Desire for Krishna. Or Krishna's service. Then everything will be perfectly harmonized. And so Prabhupada is pointing out in the purport that Lord Shiva is, we can see the opulence of Lord Shiva. If his devotee has such opulence, what kind of opulence does he have? But the situation of Lord Shiva is that he is not interested in any of those opulence. In a similar note, when Rukmini Devi, the Mahalakshmi actually, she went to Vrindavan and saw the gopis. Her concern was, why Krishna is so attracted to Vrindavan? Because Vrindavan is just a forest. At the most, in the forest there is some village. But Dwarka is so full of opulence. All the buildings there are palaces. They don't live in ordinary buildings, the residents of Dwarka. They were all living in palaces. And then Krishna has 16,108 palaces. Krishna has 16,000 wives, 16,108 wives, queens, and each one has a palace. So can you imagine if an ordinary building there is a palace, what a palace is going to be like? And that is Krishna's palace is going to be. So full of opulence. The Bhagavatam gives the description, the opulence of Dwarka. And she could understand what is there in Vrindavan that is so appealing to Krishna. Why Krishna is always thinking of Vrindavan? Even in Dwarka, Krishna's mind is always after Vrindavan. What is there in Vrindavan? Then she was told that in Vrindavan, all the trees that you see, it's a forest. But it's a forest of desire trees. Forest has many trees, and all these trees in Vrindavan are desire trees. The land in Vrindavan is made of touchstone. And Krishna is tending these cows. All these cows are Surabhi cows. So who can ever measure the opulence of Vrindavan? Just one tree can fulfill all the desire. So what to speak of a forest of those trees? One Surabhi cow can fulfill any desire. So what to speak of only Krishna's herd of 9 million cows. So this is how, this is the opulence of Vrindavan. But the residents of Vrindavan only want Krishna, they don't want anything. That is the catch. They can have all the wealth, all the opulence, but they are not interested in all that because they only want Krishna. All they want is Krishna. That's why they don't have any interest in anything else. They are not thinking, oh, let me have a palace and live in their company. No, they don't even have the mentality to think about it. Like, when you are deeply in love with something, like for example, nowadays I notice that people have become very keen, very interested in cricket match. So when you're watching the match between Pakistan and India, which is, I think, I heard, is very exciting match, then are you interested to eat when the match is going on? And Tendulkar is about to make a century. Will you think of eating at that time? Or doing something else? No. So similarly, the devotees of Krishna, the devotees of Vrindavan, simply don't have any interest for anything else besides loving Krishna. All they want is Krishna. So from this point, what do we learn? Which is higher, Dwarka or Vrindavan? Very good. Why? Because of their love, the residents of Vrindavan's love for Krishna. That is all that matters. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Kalanarayan.
You should see sadhu through here, but nowadays we are seeing so many sadhus. By the word of Jagari, they can attract thousands of people, but they are behavior is not so far. How is that?
Are they speaking about Krishna?
But sadhu,
They give Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, here what they talk, not only when they are sitting in front of the audience, but all the time and what their behavior is. As you can see, like they are speaking about Krishna, but is anyone becoming a devotee of Krishna? Like yesterday, Ananda Shankar Das, he was telling that these people, they are just, it's only show business. Like, the real sadhu, he speaks like, as we can see, of course, I never really watched any of these kathakars. I don't know what to speak of. But the thing is that their speech is not, their presentation is not arousing the devotion in the hearts, but arousing the attraction for Krishna. So hearing means how they're arousing your attraction. That is the sound. On the other hand, Prabhupada, what did Prabhupada do? Prabhupada didn't present in a flowery way. Rather, sitting on a Vasasan, Prabhupada said, "You rascal, you idiots." And what is the result? They all became devotees. So that is the sound. You hear from him, and you end up becoming a devotee of Krishna. Hare Krishna, yes. That is one way of expressing. The question is, Gadadhar Pandit, when he committed offense to Pundari Vijanidhi, he finally took initiation from him. The question is, so when one commits offense to a great Vaishnava, does one has to take initiation from him? Well, it will depend. The thing is, the point here is that initiation means submission. So, initially he thought negatively, oh, what kind of a devotee? But then when he recognized the exalted position, that is the main point is when one commits an offense to a devotee, Vaishnava, then it's better to just rectify that by begging forgiveness and showing real repentance. Okay, thank you all very much. Yes, Krishna.
We see that this chapter, many verses describe the beauty of the Kailash. And also several other places in the Bhagavatam, the beautiful natural surroundings of various places have been described, although they are not exactly dhams of the Lord. So what is the purpose in this dedicating so many verses in actually describing this?
It's showing the opulence of a devotee of the Lord. Yaksha thought that Shiva is a no good person. But here the demigods with their own eyes, they are seeing the actual opulence of Lord Shiva. But in spite of that, he is not interested. And the thing is that, you see, when you have a rich master, when the servant, especially a very devoted, loyal, dedicated servant, won't he also have the opulence of the master? Master lives in a big palace, servants also live in it. Like we can see, the big multinational companies, how do they treat their company executives? The government, how do they treat their exalted officers? So the point is, the servant also acquires the opulence of the master. That aspect is called Shashti, having a similar kind of opulence. Okay, so although it was a very short visit, but it was a very wonderful. Although I came only for 2 days, I was very happy to be with you all. Although now I'm not able to spend so much time with Jain because of my involvement in my school. But whatever time I am able to spend in Jain, very joyful to me. Thank you all. So everybody become very serious about this. Recognize that this is the only goal of life. There is no other thing. Nothing is important. Nothing is as important as Krishna consciousness. Develop your attachment to Krishna and you get everything. Ultimately, what is our desire? What do we want? We want happiness. We want joy. Now, what is the way to experience that joy, acquire that joy. The real way to experience joy, real way to become happy is by becoming Krishna conscious, by developing your relationship. It's a simple example can be given in this way. You want some light. So you got a big, powerful generator, big, powerful bulb, and you're making some light. But it's so difficult to run the generator, you make any change. But when the sun comes up, then do you have to light any generator? So similarly, if light is happiness, in the material nature we are trying to make some, get a little light here and there. And most of the time, the bulb gets fused, the generator doesn't work, it runs out of oil or diesel, and sometimes the operator goes off on a vacation, sometimes the machine breaks down. So just to get a little light, we are making so many endeavors. But what is the intelligent thing to do? Just wait for the sun to come up. To waiting for the sun to come up is like waiting to receive Krishna's mercy. Just act in such a way that Krishna will become merciful to you. And when Krishna's mercy becomes manifest, then do you have to worry about any light? It will be abundantly showered, abundantly manifest. There is one question, Sudhit Krishna from Australia. Is there only one pole of Vrindavan in the spiritual sky where Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, Nanda Maharaj, Gopi and Gopal live, or are there many? In the spiritual sky, there is only one pole. But in the material world, there are many, many poles. Every planet has a every universe has a result in the material. So that way, material nature is not a bad place to be. Yeah, in the spiritual sky, there is only one result. There are many Vaikuntras, but just one result. That is the topmost stage. Rochit from Bhopal base. Guru Maharaj, since we are neophyte, we always commit offences, so we can get rid of this. We sometimes become familiar with seniors and don't give proper respect. So please give some light on this. Yeah. So the safest way is to always maintain a respectful attitude towards the Vaishnava. You see, when we commit offense, when we put ourselves above somebody. But if we put ourselves below somebody, then there is no difference. Therefore, it's safer to be always remain below the Vaishnavas. Therefore, Mahaprabhu's point is trinadapi suvichi. Grass. Grass, where the grass is? On the ground. At the feet of everyone. Everyone is trampling over. And he is saying api. Api means even more. Even more humble than the blade of grass. That means becoming smaller than even the blade of grass. So, when you harbor that attitude, when you develop that attitude, you are safe. Therefore, in front of Vaishnavas, always maintain a very humble attitude. Thank you very much.
Even in Krishna did not go to Vrindavan. Krishna
Krishna in Dwarka cannot forget Vrindavan. And if at the time of death, if we call the name of Jagannath, then where will we go in Vrindavan or where?
You leave it up to Lord Jagannath. Actually, Jagannath is Krishna of Dwarka. He is wanting to go to Vrindavan. So if you remember Lord Jagannath, Jagannath will say, let's go to Vrindavan. Because I want to go to Vrindavan. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glory is Krishna. All Premanand.